Hello everyone, this is Shadow. Due to copyright restrictions on YouTube, I can't publish many of the audiobooks you love. That's why I've created a special paid service where you can enjoy over 300 high-quality audiobooks from platforms like Webnovel, Pocket FM, Audible, Wuxia, and more. Each novel comes as a one-time purchase, no subscriptions, no hidden fees. After payment, you'll receive full access via Telegram, along with all future updates for that novel. You'll find a wide selection of your favorite genres and titles, always in premium audio quality. Check the full list of available novels in the description. DM me now to get your favorite stories in audiobook form and start listening today. Chapter 361, The Confused Ancestral Demon Tree. In fact, Lin Yuan had overestimated the ancestral demon tree. The foreign evil god didn't have the boldness to cut off its own flesh and leave. It had completely lost its composure and pinned all its hopes on Lin Yuan. Therefore, when Lin Yuan actively contacted the ancestral demon tree, pretending to have grown to the 5th stage, the joy in the heart of the ancestral demon tree was imaginable. Opportunity. The opportunity I've been waiting for has finally come. Outside the Tianqing world, in a shadowy expanse of the void, the ancestral demon tree stared intently at the vast world in the distance, as if looking at a delicious cake. After destroying the evil god battlefield, the Tianqing alliance leader deliberately left the world sword behind to prevent a counterattack from the ancestral demon tree. In reality, such a move was completely unnecessary, as the current ancestral demon tree retained only 50% of its origin source from its heyday, and after losing the invasion battlefield, it simply had no power to threaten the Tianqing world. Who would have thought? The seed I planted back then would become the key to my descent into the Tianqing world, mused the ancestral demon tree, pleased with itself. All along, it never once considered that Lin Yuan might deceive it. As an offspring derived from the progenitor, the former has an almost instinctual loyalty to the latter. Tianqing alliance leader and those people, they didn't notice you after they returned, did they? The ancestral demon tree asked. Ancestor, the Black Mist Mountain range where I hide is inconspicuous among the top 10 mountain ranges and has not attracted any attention, Lin Yuan said evenly, without a blush or a skipped heartbeat. That's good. The ancestral demon tree nodded. It thought the same. If Lin Yuan had indeed attracted the attention of powerhouses like the Tianqing alliance leader, how could he still contact it? Now start making preparations. In 3 days, we will officially open the space channel. After giving a few instructions, the ancestral demon tree cut off contact. The reason for waiting 3 days before opening the space channel was entirely the ancestral demon tree's own plan. Its form was too large now, though compared to the entire Tianqing world, it was inconspicuous. But descending into the Tianqing world with such a massive size would draw attention no matter what. And such a huge body put pressure on the space channel. So over these 3 days, the ancestral demon tree intended to condense its form and shrink to within 100 meters. Only by doing so, could it possibly hide itself after passing through the space channel and buy enough time to assimilate into the world origin source. As long as I can devour the entire origin source of the Tianqing world, it's all worth it. The ancestral demon tree thought to itself, finding the process of compressing its form excruciatingly painful. And it would certainly affect its combat power. Amongst the void beyond realms, the bodies of evil gods measure millions to tens of millions of miles. Are they just for show? A large size, although it reduces agility, brings many benefits in other areas. The most obvious is the ability to survive. An evil god with a millions of miles long body, compared to one that's tens of thousands of miles long, who gains more energy from a single breath. Naturally, it is the former. And in the outer void, the ability to survive is crucial. Even the evil gods spend most of their lives drifting alone through the void. Encountering other evil gods or a world is an extremely rare event. That's why the ancestral demon tree is so eager to descend into the Tianqing world. Such an opportunity is too rare. It's enough to propel an evil god even further. Black Mist Mountain Range. In 3 days, Lin Yuan pondered. The ancestral demon tree's plan to open the space channel in 3 days was a bit unexpected, but still within his plans. After considering these things, Lin Yuan turned his head to look at the Tianqing alliance leader and the others below. "Have you brought all the reserves over?" Lin Yuan asked with a hint of concern. The Tianqing world still held many reserves. These reserves were in place to prevent extreme situations, should the ancestral demon tree manage to invade the Tianqing world. "Master, the Yin-Yang Reversal Heaven and Earth Extermination 9 Heavens Great Formations layout has already been set up, with 16 7th-rank powerhouses, 88 6th-rank peak powerhouses, and 194 6th-rank powerhouses stationed at the key positions, leaving no margin for error. Moreover, we have brought 13 Thunder Creation Pearls. These 13 Thunder Creation Pearls are the accumulation of millions of years from our Tianqing world. There will be no issues," the Tianqing alliance leader declared, thumping his chest. "That's good." Lin Yuan nodded slightly, content in his heart. The Yin-Yang Reversal Heaven and Earth Extermination 9 Heavens Great Formation, mentioned by the Tianqing alliance leader, is the most powerful formation in the Tianqing world since ancient times. If this great formation didn't rely on the Tianqing world, if it didn't greatly lose its power once removed from the world's range, it probably would have been taken to the evil god battlefield long ago. This sort of formation could only manifest its greatest power within the world. Powered by hundreds of powerhouses starting from the 6th rank, this great formation's power could rise to unimaginable heights. Even if the ancestral demon tree were in its prime, if by chance it fell within the reach of this great formation, it would barely escape with its life, if not worse. And the Thunder Creation Pearls? Lin Yuan has a profound understanding of the power of these pearls. A single Thunder Creation Pearl, when activated, would unleash a terrifying power that completely reaches the 8th layer level. The 9 heavens thunder of the Tianqing world, after gestating for millions of years, yielded only 15 Thunder Creation Pearls in total. Aside from the ones previously used, the remaining 13 Thunder Creation Pearls were brought in one fell swoop by the Tianqing alliance leader. Chapter 362. Of course, while the Thunder Creation Pearl was mighty and terrifying, its flaws were also quite evident. One of which was the lengthy activation time, and during the activation period it would emit thunderous fluctuations. At that time, even a fool could tell that you were preparing to use your trump card. By then, there would be ample time to consider whether to temporarily avoid the brunt of its force. However, the flaw of the Thunder Creation Pearl, to the soon-to-arrive ancestral demon tree, was tantamount to non-existent. Lin Yuan could calculate the timing perfectly. He could activate the Thunder Creation Pearl in advance so that by the time the ancestral demon tree descended into the Tianqing world, the activation of the Thunder Creation Pearl would have nearly reached its end. The ancestral demon tree would probably not have reacted before it had to confront the earth-shattering might of 13 Thunder Creation Pearls. Still, the sensation is a bit off. Lin Yuan's mind stirred slightly. The stone sword, the world sword, flew out, landing in front of the Tianqing alliance leader. This world weapon could only be activated by the creatures of this world. As for Lin Yuan, even if he could completely suppress the world sword, he couldn't activate it. After all, the evil demonic force of the demon tree was diametrically opposed to the pure power within the world sword. During the time Lin Yuan held the world sword, his main goal was to use it to comprehend the operations of the Tianqing world. Can you assure that with this sword, you can deal with that foreign evil god? Lin Yuan looked towards the Tianqing alliance leader and asked. The world sword was the strongest foundation of the Tianqing world, and naturally, Lin Yuan could not let it go to waste. Since he himself couldn't activate it, then he would let the original owner of the world sword do so. After all, Lin Yuan had now completely taken control over the Tianqing alliance leader, and to him the world sword was merely going through the motions. Master, rest assured. With this sword in hand, just by myself, I can surely suppress that foreign evil god. The Tianqing alliance leader was visibly excited. The closer the world sword was to the Tianqing world, the greater its might. Now that the world sword was within the Tianqing world, its power was unbelievably strong. It's almost time. Lin Yuan checked once more and nodded slightly. In truth, even if the ancestral demon tree expended everything to withstand the yin-yang reversal heaven and earth extermination 9 heavens great formation, to withstand the destructive thunder creation pearl, to withstand the Tianqing alliance leader wielding the world sword, it would still have to face the most terrifying existence. And that was Lin Yuan himself. In over 100 years, thanks to his against heaven's understanding, Lin Yuan himself did not know the extent of his strength, because so far, there hadn't been anyone who had forced him to exert his full power. Even when dealing with the Tianqing alliance leader, Lin Yuan had done it effortlessly without spending a bit of energy. Time passed. In a blink, 3 days later arrived. The ancestral demon tree was still somewhat uneasy, and checked one last time with Lin Yuan. You're sure the surroundings of the spatial channel you're about to open are safe, right? The ancestral demon tree asked solemnly. Lin Yuan looked at the several hundred experts ready for battle, the thunder creation pearl emitting a world-terminating vibration, himself still holding the world sword, and the Tianqing alliance leader exuding a terrifying presence. Absolutely safe. Lin Yuan nodded and encouraged. Ancestor, you can rest assured. Don't you trust me? After assuring the ancestral demon tree a few more times, Lin Yuan began to open the spatial channel. A faint power of space began to fluctuate. An entrance was beginning to form. Outside the world, the form of the ancestral demon tree was now less than 60 meters tall. The spatial channel has finally begun to open. I've waited too long for this day. The ancestral demon tree looked at the gradually forming spatial channel, somewhat tearful with emotion. Just under half an hour. All I need is less than half an hour. Then I can successfully perform the secret technique and merge within the origin source of the Tianqing world. The ancestor meticulously calculated the time. Even though the moment the spatial channel was opened, the resultant spatial fluctuations would inevitably spread in every direction. By the time the powerhouses of the Tianqing world took notice, it would have been far too long. A mere half an hour was far too short for the entire Tianqing world. Unless upon his arrival, there was a large group of Tianqing world powerhouses waiting in strict formation. No one else could prevent him from merging with the origin source of the Tianqing world. Once the merge was successful, after devouring all of the Tianqing world's origin source, the ancestral demon tree would become unprecedentedly powerful. Ha 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 ha. Tianqing world, here I come. The ancestral demon tree patiently waited for a while, confirmed the successful opening of the spatial channel, and then confidently entered the spatial channel entrance. The next moment, as if crossing infinite distances, when the ancestral demon tree stepped out of the spatial channel, it had arrived deep within the Black Mist Mountain range. This is? The ancestral demon tree had yet to get a clear look at its surroundings when it caught a scent, and its expression was one of pure enjoyment. A delicious scent. The ancestral demon tree felt every pore in its body relax, a stark contrast to the harsh environment outside the realm. Inside this world, the environment was filled with a gentle power that seemed like heaven to it. Hurry up and apply the secret technique. The ancestral demon tree was aware of the gravity of the situation. The ancestral demon tree began to observe its surroundings. Quickly noticed Lin Yuan. With the world barrier gone, the ancestral demon tree immediately sensed that Lin Yuan had grown to the 6th stage. And he was at the limit of the 6th stage, far beyond what one at the beginning of the 5th stage could compare to. In addition, the ancestral demon tree was shocked to discover it felt a faint, trembling presence emanating from Lin Yuan. How could this be possible at this time? Although the ancestral demon tree currently had only half of its origin source and its strength was far from its peak, it shouldn't be like this when facing its own offspring, even if only 1/10 of the origin source was left. Something isn't right. The ancestral demon tree immediately came to its senses. It was about to turn and return through the spatial channel to the outside of the world. However, crack, the spatial channel in front of it began to collapse bit by bit. The ancestral demon tree was stunned on the spot. The next moment, a terrifying aura erupted into the sky, a set of formations, faintly radiating infinite might, unfolded, with the force of Yin-Yang 9 heaven's extermination spreading throughout. Immediately after, thunder pearls began to emit extremely terrifying energy fluctuations. Terrifying thunderous power permeated the area, transforming a million li around it into the 9 heavens thunder pond, and under the extremely yang and rigid thunderous power, the ancestral demon tree felt its consciousness dim and its remaining strength once again suppressed. However, this was far from over. The yin-yang reversal heaven and earth extermination 9 heavens great formation was fully activated, with hundreds of powerhouses striking simultaneously. Next, the Tianqing Alliance leader, wielding the world sword, exerted all his strength in a slash, and within an instant, space was torn apart, and terrifying might descended. No! Upon seeing this scene, the ancestral demon tree's scalp exploded. I am the ancestral demon. The ancestral demon tree did not hesitate to reveal its true body, its 60-meter stature growing rapidly. Rustle, rustle. In just an instant, half of the ancestral demon tree's body was torn apart. It made the ancestral demon tree's heart chill. Before the ancestral demon tree could take any action, the next wave of attack surged over again. Ah! The ancestral demon tree suddenly emitted a terrifying psychic fluctuation, because it knew it probably wouldn't leave the Tianqing world alive. Boom, boom, boom. Terrifying energy fluctuations poured down as if cascading. Before death, the ancestral demon tree's mind flickered with one thought after another. Even now, it was unclear about what had actually happened. Why were there so many powerhouses lying in ambush outside the spatial channel? And why were they using the Tianqing world's ultimate power? Could it be that the offspring demon tree had defected to the Tianqing world? But that seemed even more improbable. Whether it was the offspring demon tree or the ancestral demon tree, they stood in opposition to the Tianqing world, with no chance of reconciliation. Even if the offspring demon tree wanted to defect, the Tianqing world would have to be willing. If it wasn't the offspring demon tree defecting, then did the Tianqing world control the offspring demon tree? But that seemed equally impossible. As a descendant of a foreign evil god, it wouldn't be so easily controlled. How else could the ancestral demon tree have roamed outside the realm for so many years? And just now, in a fleeting glance, the ancestral demon tree perceived that the many powerhouses of the Tianqing world, including the strongest Tianqing Alliance leader wielding the world sword, were all treating its offspring demon tree with the utmost respect? Why was that? Within the split second, one doubt after another flashed through the ancestral demon tree's mind. Boom, boom, boom. The ancestral demon tree's massive body was torn asunder. Countless origin sources scattered, with exceptionally pure powers of evil emerging. Stop! Seeing this, Lin Yuan's thoughts stirred slightly. The remaining 5/10 of the ancestral demon tree's origin source began to converge in front of him, and he swallowed it all at once. Chapter 363. Replacing the ancestral demon tree, Lin Yuan's choice. In the deepest part of the Black Mist Mountain range. Here, the spiritual energy of heaven and earth boiled over. Terrifying spatial fissures emerged one after another, but under the recovery of the void itself, they quickly healed. If it weren't for the fact that this place was Lin Yuan's stronghold for over 100 years, stabilized by special means, I fear a radius of tens of thousands of miles, even the void itself would have shattered. After all, the slaughter that just took place was too terrifying. Lin Yuan didn't hold back his subordinates so as not to give the ancestral demon tree a chance. All strategies and reserves were thrown at the ancestral demon tree at once. Anyway, once Lin Yuan's stay was up, he would leave this world. Unless he paid the cost of world-breaking origin force, he couldn't take anything from this world with him. So Lin Yuan had no intention of being frugal. Ancestor? Are you still there, Ancestor? After swallowing the origin source scattered from the collapse of the ancestral demon tree, Lin Yuan asked in a quiet voice. However, Lin Yuan received no response from the ancestral demon tree. Lin Yuan showed no surprise, for at the very moment the ancestral demon tree's body was torn apart, Lin Yuan sensed its aura drop to freezing point. Now, he couldn't sense the slightest breath of the ancestral demon tree. As a subordinate demon tree, sensing the aura of the ancestral demon tree was instinctive. Even if separated by vast distances and obstructed by multiple world barriers, at most the sense might be a bit hazy. But it was definitely there. Just now, the breath of the ancestral demon tree, or rather its life fluctuations, seemed to have completely disappeared. Clearly, the ancestral demon tree had completely fallen. That's it. Lin Yuan sighed, his expression somewhat disappointed. He had originally wanted to exchange a few more moves with the ancestral demon tree. He told the Tianqing Alliance leader not to hold back and to give it his all. But in reality, Lin Yuan's strongest reserve was still himself. In the deepest part of the Black Mist Mountain range, benefiting from the demon tree's characteristics, Lin Yuan could unleash his greatest combat power. Master, what should we do now? At this time, the Tianqing Alliance leader and many subordinates stepped forward and asked respectfully. From the moment the ancestral demon tree used the spatial passage, their offensive had not ceased. Until Lin Yuan shouted, "Stop." They then stopped. "You all go back," Lin Yuan ordered casually. The complete death of the ancestral demon tree forced Lin Yuan to face the next problem. That was the other subordinate demon trees. Firstly, he needed to understand the hidden secrets of these foreign evil gods, the demon trees. The ancestral demon tree was the absolute ruler of countless demon trees. As long as it was alive, other subordinate demon trees would unconditionally obey its commands. This was a form of mental and ideological bondage. Next, there was physical bondage. With just a single thought, the ancestral demon tree could destroy any subordinate demon tree. Of course, Lin Yuan was an exception. He descended into a dying subordinate demon tree through the door to the myriad realms with his consciousness. Although he replaced the original demon tree, he was not bound by the loyalty or ideological constraints towards the ancestral demon tree. Neither mental and ideological nor physical constraints. These only existed while the ancestral demon tree was alive. Once the ancestral demon tree died, the mental, ideological, and physical constraints would all vanish. Countless demon trees would develop a certain notion deep within. That was to grow to the 7th stage and become the new ancestral demon tree. This was akin to an ant queen in a colony. The death of an ant queen didn't mean the colony would collapse, but under the drive of instinct, a new queen would be born. Lin Yuan was now facing this problem. Deep within, he felt the presence of other demon trees scattered at immeasurable distances. These demon trees were the numerous reserves left by the ancestral demon tree, either to help the ancestral demon tree guard a treasure or to suppress something in a discovered secret realm. And now, these demon trees, almost simultaneously, sensed the death of the ancestral demon tree. The ancestor has died. The ancestor was so powerful. How could it die? The ancestor has died. I want to become the new ancestor. Having lost their ideological restraint, countless demon trees developed ambition. At the same time, freed from physical constraint, the various talents and abilities of the ancestral demon tree began to awaken within the subordinate demon trees. All want to become the ancestor? A chill spread across Lin Yuan's face. Although he didn't care much for the ancestral demon tree, after all, he had just slain a true ancestral demon tree. But Lin Yuan couldn't accept the other demon trees picking his fruit. Let me become the ancestral demon tree then. Lin Yuan hesitated not at all. Since this journey was just a consciousness descent, regardless of what he became in this traversed world, once he returned to the main world, he would revert back to his original form. Lin Yuan also wanted to experience what it felt like to become a foreign evil god. The growth of a demon tree is divided into 8 stages. Although the ancestral demon tree was said to be at the 8th stage, it hadn't truly stepped into it. Strictly speaking, the ancestral demon tree was still at the 7th stage. With the complete death of the ancestral demon tree, the first demon tree to grow to the 7th stage would become the new ancestral demon tree. The 7th stage for a demon tree represented a certain limit. A demon tree at the 7th stage could gradually break free from mental and ideological constraints, even while the ancestral demon tree was still alive. Therefore, the ancestral demon tree would never allow a 7th stage demon tree to come into being. And if a 7th stage demon tree emerged, no matter the distance, the ancestral demon tree could immediately sense it. Chapter 364. Even before, Lin Yuan had already reached the peak of the 6th stage, but he had hesitated to step into the 7th stage for fear of alerting the ancestral demon tree. But now, that was no longer a concern. Thanks to the suppression by the ancestral demon tree, aside from Lin Yuan, all other demon trees at their highest growth stages were only at the 5th stage. Aiming to rush into the 7th stage in a short time was simply impossible, even if they unlocked the many talents and abilities of the ancestral demon tree. Thus Lin Yuan was under no pressure whatsoever. After a brief preparation, Lin Yuan began to push towards the 7th stage. In truth, for a demon tree at the peak of the 6th stage, challenging the 7th stage came with risks. Every stage of a demon tree represented a significant transformation. But for Lin Yuan, the risk was almost non-existent after he devoured a great amount of origin source from the former ancestral demon tree. Moreover, with the aid of Against Heaven's understanding, if Lin Yuan still could not break through to the 7th stage, he might as well end his voyage early and return to the main world. Boom, boom, boom. After 10 days, Lin Yuan grew into a 7th stage demon tree. The moment Lin Yuan stepped into the stage, a wondrous feeling struck him. Originally, Lin Yuan could not sense the existence of other demon trees. But the death of the ancestral demon tree granted Lin Yuan the ability to vaguely sense many distant demon trees. However, it was just a vague notion, still stemming from a sense of competition with one another. Likewise, other demon trees could also sense Lin Yuan's presence. Before the birth of a new ancestral demon tree, all demon trees were equal in status. But now, this vague perception had changed to complete control upon reaching the 7th stage. Lin Yuan could forcibly connect with all demon trees through a sort of intangible authority, regardless of whether they wished it or not. And Lin Yuan could also control the life and death of any demon tree at will. To put it simply, Lin Yuan was now the ancestral demon tree. As Lin Yuan ascended to the 7th stage and became the new ancestral demon tree, all the demon trees also received this information, and at the same time new ways of thinking and thought restraints were formed. From then on, these demon trees regarded Lin Yuan with absolute loyalty. Any ambitions or wild thoughts that had arisen due to the death of the previous ancestral demon tree vanished without a trace. This was the nature of the demon tree race. So long as the ancestral demon tree lived, the entire race shared but one will. We have seen the ancestor. 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 Since Lin Yuan had just become the ancestral demon tree, many authorities were not yet harvested. So many demon trees still retain the ability to actively contact the ancestor. And now, without exception, these demon trees were offering their congratulations, devoid of any other thoughts. All right, I know. Lin Yuan casually responded to a few. Compared to the former ancestral demon tree's cruel and ferocious nature, Lin Yuan considered himself to be rather amiable. From now on, bring all treasures here with you. Lin Yuan issued an order to all demon trees. Why had the former ancestral demon tree left offspring demon trees in many regions? It was simply because it had found some treasures, some exotic spiritual objects from beyond their realm that could not be harvested immediately or were still incubating, so it had them guarded by offspring demon trees. When the time came for them to mature, it would return to reap them. But now, these rare treasures all belonged to Lin Yuan. The ancestral demon tree had indeed left behind a significant legacy for him. Yes, Ancestor, I will head over now. Ancestor, from my current location, it would take 320 years to reach you. The many demon trees began to report their own situations, as ordinary life forms wishing to traverse the outer void. The biggest problem is endurance, which is how to stay alive. In the outer void, without the various mild energies found within a world, surviving in such a harsh environment is not easy. However, the demon trees possess the ability of void roots, and Lin Yuan only needed to make this ability available to all the demon tree offshoots. After roughly dealing with the many issues of the demon trees, Lin Yuan's mind once again returned to himself. Ancestral demon tree, foreign evil god. Quite a special feeling. Lin Yuan's branches swayed, stepping into the 7th stage and becoming the new ancestral demon tree. His body had already grown to a size of 10,000 meters. Even the entire Black Mist Mountain range could be overlooked at a glance. Moreover, as time passed, Lin Yuan's size continued to rapidly increase, and it was foreseeable that he would grow to the colossal height of the ancestral demon tree that previously spanned the outer void. Lin Yuan allowed this without any attempt to suppress or hide it, because Lin Yuan no longer needed to hide, as he had the entire Tianqing world under his control. What was there to hide? The origin source of the Tianqing world. Lin Yuan looked towards the earth, the unique perception of the ancestral demon tree allowing him to sense the vast world origin source pulsating. Lin Yuan could not only sense the fluctuations of the world origin source but also had the ability to merge into the origin vast ocean. At that time, the entire origin source of the Tianqing world would become Lin Yuan's meal, ready for him to devour at will. This was an exclusive ability of the ancestral demon tree, completely different from methods like void roots, and something only the ancestral demon tree itself could master. It was a unique ability amongst the entire demon tree race. No wonder the ancestral demon tree was so eager to enter the interior of the Tianqing world, without worrying about being besieged by other powerhouses. Lin Yuan appeared contemplative. Theoretically, with the world sword in hand, the Tianqing alliance leader could exert combat power beyond that of outside the world when within it. The arrival of the ancestral demon tree in the Tianqing world would make it vulnerable, like fish trapped in a secret pot or dogs trapped in a dead-end street. But the ancestral demon tree still desired to do so because it could merge into the world origin vast ocean. Not even the Tianqing alliance leader could enter the origin vast ocean of the Tianqing world. If the ancestral demon tree entered, it would be in an invincible position, and could freely devour the world origin source, rapidly becoming stronger. As for the many consequences of devouring the world origin source, like the decline of the Tianqing world, or even its destruction, those were not concerns of the ancestral demon tree. If I wished, I could also merge into the world origin source and easily devour the entire Tianqing world's origin source. Lin Yuan thought to himself. Even at this moment, the instincts from the ancestral demon tree were urging Lin Yuan to do so. Unfortunately, I am not the ancestral demon tree. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. For Lin Yuan, he was but a passerby in this world, who would leave when his time was up, and he would do so without taking anything with him. Devouring the Tianqing world's origin source would indeed enhance the foundation of the ancestral demon tree, and might even push it a step closer to the 8th stage. But what did that have to do with Lin Yuan? Unless Lin Yuan was willing to pay a great price to take the ancestral demon tree back to the main world, the strength of the ancestral demon tree, however formidable, was irrelevant. In Lin Yuan's mind, maintaining the stability of the Tianqing world, so that it could carry on the dissemination of the martial path evolutionary path, was the choice that maximized benefits. At the very least, it could provide assistance for Lin Yuan's future ultimate leap. Even if the entire Tianqing world's origin source was devoured, the ancestral demon tree would not be able to step into the 8th stage, which is the legendary end of the road for the demon tree race. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. The cultivation system of the ancestral demon tree was based on mining its own potential. Even if it truly entered the 8th stage, it would not provide him with a view from above to assist his growth. Therefore, from beginning to end, Lin Yuan never thought about devouring the Tianqing world's origin source, because for him it was more harm than good. Continue to cultivate. After pondering for a while, Lin Yuan continued with his enlightenment. Upon becoming the ancestral demon tree, Lin Yuan mastered many methods exclusive to the ancestral demon tree, which he could consider integrating into the martial path evolutionary path. To make the martial path evolutionary path more perfect and adaptable to more harsh environments. And so, time swiftly passed by. In the blink of an eye, 300 years had gone by. Chapter 365. 300 years later. The demon ancestral tree? No, it is the world tree that shelters all beings. 300 years for the world itself is not a very long time. Yet for the creatures within the world, it could be considered an eternity. Especially for ordinary humans, 3 centuries probably span several generations. In Tianqing world, these 300 years were indeed marked by earth-shaking changes. Firstly, there was the widespread adoption of the martial Tao cultivation system. The original cultivation systems of Tianqing world had high barriers to entry, and the major powers colluded to maintain a de facto monopoly. This meant that people at the bottom had no way to advance, living out their entire lives without access to the higher paths. It was just 300 or 400 years ago that the martial Tao cultivation system began to spread. Compared to the original cultivation systems of the world, the threshold to start practicing the martial Tao was so low it was almost laughable. As long as one was human, they were qualified to practice the martial Tao. Of course, the specific level to which one might cultivate depended on the individual. But at least everyone had a chance. Secondly, over the past 300 years, the greatest change in Tianqing world was that ancient tree which had grown to an unknown height, towering like a pillar reaching the heavens. This ancient tree was the sacred tree of Tianqing world. Every year, the world's most powerful beings would come in person to worship beneath the tree. As for other creatures in Tianqing world, by rights, the area tens of thousands of miles around such a sacred tree should be forbidden to the idle and the irrelevant. But the sacred tree was merciful and did not mind the approach of ant-like creatures toward it. And a few thousand miles away from the sacred tree, a group of people had come to this place, observing the sacred tree from a distance. At such a distance, anything should appear incredibly small. Yet as these people watched the sacred tree, they still felt it was majestic and awe-inspiring, almost too grand to look upon directly. This is the sacred tree, which allowed Tianqing world to end the world-shattering war hundreds of years ago, with its mighty power, said the middle-aged man at the front, apparently in the role of mentor, to the dozen or so youths following him. I've heard about that too. The sacred tree is so great. The other youths nodded one after another, their expressions filled with admiration and longing. But, at this moment, a young man hesitated before finally mustering the courage to say, I've heard some people say that the sacred tree has a great connection to the instigator of the war hundreds of years ago, the demon ancestral tree. After speaking, the young man cautiously glanced at his mentor. In fact, this kind of talk was not uncommon in Tianqing world. 300 years was not enough to erase everything. During the invasion of the foreign evil gods, countless cultivators of the Tianqing world rushed to the battlefield. Many cultivators still alive today clearly remember the image of the ancestral demon tree, and the tree that all beings now worship bears some resemblance to that demon ancestral tree. The demon ancestral tree? Nonsense! The middle-aged man was angry. He had heard such claims before, but always sneered at them. I ask you all, what was the purpose of the foreign evil god's invasion of our Tianqing world? He said, looking at the other youths and asking in a serious tone. The foreign evil god wanted to destroy our world. Right, the foreign evil god was too evil. It wanted to consume everything, including us. Thankfully, the foreign evil god was defeated, otherwise, we would have been doomed. This time, the response from the youths was surprisingly unanimous. Given that, if the sacred tree was truly related to the foreign evil god, then would we still have time to stand here talking? The middle-aged man spoke forcefully. I don't care how some people choose to defame the sacred tree, but you, at least, ought to have your own judgment. If not for the sacred tree, would those in high places have opened up their resources to us? If not for the sacred tree, would there ever have been a spread of the martial Tao cultivation system, and how many of you here would have had the chance to embark on the path of cultivation? If not for the sacred tree, would Tianqing world have been so peaceful and stable these past few hundred years, without a hint of upheaval? The more the middle-aged man spoke, the more passionate he became. having relatives who lived through that era hundreds of years ago. As a child, he would listen to the elders gossip about the chaos of Tianqing world before the evil god battlefield erupted, with major forces waging endless wars. The high and mighty Tianqing sect looked down upon all creatures, possessing the power to resolve conflicts but unwilling to do so, hiding behind the noble-sounding principle of governing by doing nothing. The middle-aged man's words plunged the youths into deep thought. Indeed, these words made sense. If the sacred tree was truly related to the demon ancestral tree, then shouldn't Tianqing world now, if not destroyed by the sacred tree, at least be enslaved by it? Would youths like them even have the privilege to approach here to observe the sacred tree itself? This was completely contrary to the description of the demon ancestral tree. Though young, the youths knew that the martial Tao cultivation system they practiced originated from the sacred tree. It was under the orders of the sacred tree that those in high places actively propagated the martial Tao. And thus they were qualified to cultivate the martial Tao. The current Tianqing world, under the will of the sacred tree, flourished. Even the most ordinary people had the capability to survive. And all beings had the possibility to pursue a better life. How could such a sacred tree possibly have any relation to the cruel and ferocious demon ancestral tree? I don't care why those people are so desperate to question the sacred tree, or what benefit they derive from doing so. The middle-aged man took a deep breath and continued. But it's ridiculous to equate the sacred tree with the demon ancestral tree. How could the sacred tree possibly be the demon ancestral tree? It is the world tree that shelters all of us. Chapter 366. The middle-aged man looked toward the distant sacred tree again, admiration glowing in his eyes. Right, he said. Damn it. The enemy has actually been hiding inside us. From now on, anyone who dares to slander the sacred tree will be opposing me. The youths began to speak up. They were unclear about the battle against the foreign evil god invasion that had happened hundreds of years before. But they could feel that the life they were living now was very good, and all of it stemmed from the sacred tree. It's a simple principle: what you say isn't important, but what you do is key. The now thriving and prosperous Tianqing world was quickly quashing those rumors and slanders doubting the sacred tree. At the top of the sacred tree. This place was close to Tianqing world's natural barrier, and just a bit further up you might leave the scope of the Tianqing world. And right now, on the main trunk of the sacred tree, a figure was sitting cross-legged. 300 years, he said. This figure was Lin Yuan. To be precise, it was an incarnation, derived from the demon tree seed of the ancestral demon tree. After becoming the ancestral demon tree, Lin Yuan had gained all the abilities of the ancestral demon tree, including the demon seed incarnation. During this traversal, although he had become the demon tree, his essence was still human, so he directly used the demon seed incarnation to take on a human form and resided within it. Unfortunately, most of the ancestral demon tree's innate abilities are tied to the ancestral demon tree itself. Even if I've fully comprehended them, I can't use them in the main world. Lin Yuan sighed. For instance, the demon seed was something that had to be formed by the demon tree, and when Lin Yuan returned to the main world, reverting to human form, he couldn't gather the demon seed and therefore couldn't perform the parasitic techniques. Unless Lin Yuan was willing to give up his human form and completely transform into the ancestral demon tree, it might then be possible to inherit everything. With Lin Yuan's current understanding of the ancestral demon tree, he could completely create a technique for the transformation of the essence of life through his against heaven's understanding. Then, returning to the main world and using this transformation technique, he could begin transforming into the ancestral demon tree. According to Human Alliance's recognition, the definition of human beings doesn't depend on the flesh but on the soul. As long as Lin Yuan's soul did not change, even if he became the ancestral demon tree, he would still be counted as part of the human race. But the consequences of doing that were too great. First and foremost, regarding the species, the ancestral demon tree could not cultivate martial Tao. This would turn Lin Yuan's efforts from his past 6 traversals to ash. Secondly, for Tianqing world, the ancestral demon tree was considered an enormous being that required the effort of an entire world to resist. However, in the main world it wasn't as insoluble. Even the peak bloodline beings like the Starry Sky Wanderer Kuan, not to mention those other powerful and special beings, would be considerably stronger than the ancestral demon tree. And many of the ancestral demon tree's abilities, such as the highly meritorious parasitic techniques. It might be an unsolvable issue in Tianqing world, but in the main world, it definitely did not count as something to be feared. The so-called parasitic influence on the will of true spirits, not to mention others, the constant surveillance of all humans by the three goddesses at every moment would allow them to detect any abnormalities through the details of daily behavior. However, if I really want to continue using the abilities of the ancestral demon tree, it's not without a way. Lin Yuan contemplated, stroking his chin. The simplest method would be to give up some world-breaking origin force and bring a seed of the ancestral demon tree to the main world. Then Lin Yuan would nurture it himself, and as it began to grow, he would use control techniques to keep it in check. To the human civilization of the main world, the ancestral demon tree would at most be considered one of the rare and special forms of life. And most of the high-rank evolvers of human civilization basically controlled some special beings for their own use. For Lin Yuan, controlling a demon tree would be extremely simple. He could even train the ancestral demon tree to become his own incarnation at that time to better manage it. Bringing the whole ancestral demon tree back would use up an incredible amount of world-breaking origin force. But just a single seed, 10 strands of world-breaking origin force would be the absolute limit. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. The door to the myriad realms had the ability to bring back items from other worlds to the main world, consuming world-breaking origin force to achieve this. As for how much world-breaking origin force was required, it depended on the size and level of the items being brought back. The demon tree seed was only the size of a fist. What kind of price could it command if brought back? In 300 years' time, Lin Yuan had exclusive access to all the resources of the Tianqing world, and the harvest was extremely astonishing. First, there was the nurturing of the origin fine gold. This piece, hailing from the main world and treasured even by the 8th layer invincible Chikuan Star-Lord, who had fought life-threatening battles with several other alien strong ones of the same rank and even attracted the attention of a 9th-rank alien race, was a cosmic rarity. After Lin Yuan dealt with the ancestral demon tree, he expended a strand of world-breaking origin force to bring it into this world from the main world. The reason for doing so was, naturally, to incubate the origin fine gold. Of course, Lin Yuan wasn't relying on his own strength to incubate it. The power of the ancestral demon tree leaned towards evil and chaos. If it were to nurture the origin fine gold, not to mention the waste of time and effort, it might also affect the formation of the origin fine gold. The place where Lin Yuan nurtured the origin fine gold was within the origin vast ocean of the Tianqing world. The origin vast ocean of a world was pure and clean, simply the best place for the incubation of the origin fine gold. Weapons like the world sword were incubated within the world's origin vast ocean. Lin Yuan placed the origin fine gold into the origin vast ocean of the Tianqing world for nurturing, and it indeed had an impact on the Tianqing world. But the impact was minor, and Lin Yuan was only incubating it for at most a few hundred years. Once Lin Yuan returned, the Tianqing world would have plenty of time to recover. Lin Yuan looked down and vaguely saw a massive origin vast ocean where a piece of metal was floating and sinking. From afar, the shape of the metal already resembled a bell shape. The world's origin vast ocean has no life imprints. Hence it can replace me in nurturing the origin fine gold. Lin Yuan thought to himself. In theory, the incubation of the origin fine gold could only be done by oneself. Because if one were to use the power of others for nurturing, it would contaminate with the life imprints of the others, and then who the origin fine gold truly belonged to would be unclear. But with the world's origin vast ocean, this problem would not occur. A world consciousness is similar to an instinct and does not have so-called life imprints. Martial arts evolution system. With a shift of thought in the 300 years, Lin Yuan had completely developed and perfected the 7th stage martial Tao chapter, and he was even considering the path to the 8th layer part. Although I am not cultivating the martial arts evolution system, in the process of developing the 7th rank chapter, my realm has also been improving. I am now at the 7th rank's limit. As soon as I return to the main world and consume the red spirit fluid, I will be able to quickly reach the 7th rank king-level peak. Lin Yuan thought to himself. If Lin Yuan didn't have the corresponding realm, he wouldn't have been able to develop a complete 7th rank chapter. Since ancient times, it has been heard that high-rank evolvers, with their lofty insights, developed lower-rank evolutionary paths, but never has it been heard of a low-rank evolver developing a high-rank evolutionary path. Because if the realm isn't there, one simply cannot grasp the essence of cultivation, let alone develop it. The 1133rd Core Space Model. In Lin Yuan's eyes, a silver sea appeared to ripple. In 300 years, Lin Yuan had comprehended 1133 core space models. It must be known that these are core space models, which explicate certain aspects of the essence of space rules. Even the Chikuan Star-Lord, who has the enhancement from some of his own Starry Sky Wanderer Kuan's comprehension of space rules, has not yet fully understood all the core space models. For Lin Yuan to comprehend over 1,000 core space models at the 7th layer level was nothing short of monstrous. I wonder how much these comprehensions of space models can expand my inner world. Lin Yuan's expression was somewhat anticipatory. The size of the inner world, in addition to needing a sufficiently strong physical body to bear, mainly depends on one's understanding of space rules. The deeper the understanding of space rules, the larger the inner world will be, and the more world force one can mobilize. Just as Lin Yuan was about to continue his cultivation and enlightenment. Lin Yuan's expression slightly surprised. The next moment several vast consciousnesses, from the distant outer void, suddenly arrived outside of the Tianqing world. Chapter 367, Demon Ancestral Tree, Eclipse. You all came so early? Lin Yuan also reached out with his consciousness, arriving outside the Tianqing world, merging with those few descending consciousnesses. The projection of Lin Yuan's consciousness was a black ancient tree, while the other 3 consciousness projections were a massive snake, a pale green lake, and a huge eyeball. The outer void is vast and boundless. Of course, it wasn't home to only the ancestral demon tree as a foreign evil god. These 3 consciousness projections were precisely from 3 other foreign evil gods. Between foreign evil gods, encounters didn't necessarily lead to slaughter. Cooperation was also possible. For instance, Lin Yuan and these 3 foreign evil gods usually maintained a good relationship, occasionally exchanging or trading information. Over the past 300 years, aside from cultivating, Lin Yuan had attempted to befriend those foreign evil gods. According to what he understood over the years, Lin Yuan learned that deep within the outer void, there was a congregation ground, where a great number of foreign evil gods resided steadily. The ruler there was also a foreign evil god, rumored to have grown into the 9th stage. The growth of foreign evil gods was in stages. For example, Lin Yuan was currently at the 7th stage, and the previous ancestral demon tree was also strictly at the 7th stage in a strict sense. As for the 9th stage, even though the growth stages of an evil god were not linked to their strength, how weak could an evil god who had reached such a stage be? It's known that for an evil god like the ancestral demon tree, the growth limit is the 8th stage. The 9th stage, even with Lin Yuan's against heaven's understanding, he could not glean a shred of useful information. Based on Lin Yuan's speculations, a foreign evil god at the 9th stage, even if not quite a supreme being from the main world, probably wasn't far behind. The gathering ground of foreign evil gods. Lin Yuan sighed. If possible, he really wanted to visit. Only the information obtained from other foreign evil gods told him to go from Tianqing world to that gathering place. The time needed would be counted in tens of thousands of years, if not thousands. Of course, for a foreign evil god with almost no end to their lifespan, tens of thousands of years were nothing more than a few sleeps, but in Lin Yuan's view it was entirely unnecessary, because the residence time simply wasn't enough. I wonder what a foreign evil god at the 9th stage would look like? Could it possibly be observed? Lin Yuan was somewhat curious. Foreign evil gods are very special beings, their growth stages completely different from the normal cultivation systems. For example, if Lin Yuan were to grow the ancestral demon tree to the 8th stage, perhaps his very existence would be conceptualized. Demon brother, We're actually envious of you for being able to occupy a world like this as a place for cultivation. As Lin Yuan was deep in thought, the massive snake projection transmitted a mental fluctuation. The consciousnesses of the other two foreign evil gods also showed longing in their demeanor. However, they could only envy and yearn. As with the ancestral demon tree that Lin Yuan was, the Tianqing world's defenses were nearly perfect. Even if 10-odd foreign evil gods came, they might not necessarily break through the world's barrier. And for 10-odd foreign evil gods to join forces, it was harder than reaching the heavens. Most importantly, even if they broke through the Tianqing world, a single world could hardly satisfy the appetites of 10-odd foreign evil gods. All right, enough with the idle talk. Let's start the trade. The massive eyeball evil god projection emitted a mental fluctuation as a reminder. The three foreign evil gods had allowed their consciousnesses to descend here for the sole purpose of trading with Lin Yuan. Most of the time, foreign evil gods wandered through the vast void, occasionally obtaining some treasures. Same as always. I only want Sin's water and secret techniques related to world's consciousness. Lin Yuan nodded, and with a flicker of his thoughts, several azure demon seeds appeared in front of him. The demon seeds condensed by the ancestral demon tree, aside from being a weapon against enemies, could be used as a treasure that offered substantial benefits to other evil gods once the life imprints inside were reclaimed. Over the years, Lin Yuan had truly earned a considerable fortune through these demon seeds. Of course, these demon seeds referred to the ones perfected by Lin Yuan's parasitic methods. Every time he condensed such a demon seed, Lin Yuan had to expend some time and effort. And the demon seeds whose life imprints had been reclaimed didn't take up a parasitic slot of Lin Yuan's. That was why Lin Yuan exchanged them this way. No problem. Here are 10 portions of Sin's water. The lake consciousness projection brought out the collected Sin's water, exchanging 20 portions of demon seeds with Lin Yuan. Sin's water, a treasure produced within certain secret realms of the outer void, contained infinite sins and was ideally suited as a nourishing supplement for some foreign evil gods. After several experiments by Lin Yuan, he found that Sin's water had a not insignificant beneficial effect on the body of the ancestral demon tree. That was precisely why Lin Yuan took the initiative to trade for Sin's water. While it was true that whether the ancestral demon tree in this world was strong or not made virtually no difference to Lin Yuan's main body in the main world, that was on the premise that Tianqing world's origin source needed to be used to bear the martial path evolutionary path. If the base strength of the ancestral demon tree could be raised, then of course it would be even better. I have 2 secret techniques related to world's consciousness. I'd appreciate it if Demon Brother would take a look. The giant snake consciousness projection sent out a mental fluctuation, sending the beginnings of the 2 secret techniques related to world's consciousness to Lin Yuan. Chapter 368. Not bad. These 2 secret techniques have their merits. Lin Yuan nodded and handed over 10 demon spawn seeds to the other party. Secret techniques related to the consciousness of the world. They related to Lin Yuan's certain schemes, or rather, his goal. The consciousness of the world, ethereal and elusive, was basically unreachable by the creatures within the world. But among foreign evil gods, the world consciousness was no secret. Many foreign evil gods attempting to break through a world would encounter resistance from the world consciousness. The previous predecessor ancestral demon tree wanted to descend upon the Tianqing world. Under the threat of upheaval, the world consciousness spared no effort in bringing forth the world sword, then formed the Tianqing alliance, concentrating all forces to resist the invasion of the ancestral demon tree. So, for countless millennia, foreign evil gods had a profound understanding of the world consciousness, even developing various secret techniques specifically targeting it. I've also collected a few secret techniques. The giant eye projection finally spoke. The 4 foreign evil gods thus completed their transaction, each appearing quite satisfied. Demon Brother, you've already occupied this world. Why collect so many secret techniques related to the world consciousness? The giant serpent consciousness projection asked curiously. The other 2 evil god projections listened and also turned their gaze towards Lin Yuan. Indeed, With the methods of foreign evil gods, as long as they descend into a world, they've essentially declared victory, merging into the origin vast ocean within the world, regardless of any world consciousness. I'm just a bit curious. Lin Yuan found a casual excuse to brush it off. Curious. The three evil god projections glanced at each other. Since Lin Yuan did not wish to elaborate, they did not press the issue. Foreign evil gods do not make it a habit to pry into each other's affairs. By the way, demon brother, are you occupied with anything right now? The giant eye projection suddenly spoke. I have a friend who wishes to meet you. A friend? What does he want with me? Lin Yuan frowned and asked. It's something good. Something very good, said the giant eye projection immediately. Shortly after, another consciousness descended. This consciousness projection resembled a humanoid form but had 16 arms. Demon brother. The 16-armed fiend god projection greeted Lin Yuan enthusiastically immediately. This foreign evil god is very powerful. Lin Yuan's expression became slightly serious. His power was at least greater than the other three foreign evil gods. Of course, he was still no match for Lin Yun now. With 300 years of cultivation and against heaven's understanding, Lin Yuan's combat power had long surpassed the ancestral demon trees at its peak. The few of us, we found a void secret realm and would like to invite Demon Brother to join us. Rest assured, the final gains from that void secret realm, Demon Brother, you'll get 20%, the 16-armed fiend god projection said with a smile. I acknowledge your strength, Demon Brother, and that void secret realm is actually not hard to conquer. Void secret realm. Lin Yuan fell into thought. The so-called Void Secret Realm was a perilous territory that randomly emerged within the vast, boundless outer void. These perilous territories could possibly contain treasures and opportunities. Generally speaking, a foreign evil god encountering a Void Secret Realm would gain quite a bit. The previous ancestral demon tree encountered many Void Secret Realms and even guarded some of the entrances to certain realms that couldn't be immediately accessed, by deploying some demon tree offshoots nearby. Where is this void secret realm? Lin Yuan asked. Fly in this direction for approximately 500 years, replied the 16-armed fiend god immediately. I'm not interested. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. It's not that he doubted the division of the gains. For a latecomer, getting a 20% share of the realm's income was already extremely good. But it was precisely because of this that Lin Yuan felt something was amiss. If that void secret realm really wasn't hard to conquer, why make a point of inviting him? Besides, a 500-year journey was somewhat unrealistic for Lin Yuan at this time. The world currently hosting Lin Yuan had less than 200 years remaining, and there was no need for him to consider venturing into any void secret realms. It was best to stay peacefully within the Tianqing world. All right. Next time you collect the relevant secret techniques or Sin's water, come and find me. Lin Yuan withdrew his extended consciousness, returning to within the Tianqing world. Suddenly, only the lonely presences of four evil god consciousnesses remained in the void. What should we do now? Do we continue to invite? Or should we give up? I think the demon brother is very vigilant. Let's change to another evil god. The four evil god consciousnesses discussed among themselves for a while, then returned the way they had come. Tianqing world. At the top of the ancestral demon tree, Lin Yuan's gaze followed the withdrawing consciousnesses of the four evil gods. It seems I am being targeted? Lin Yuan mused inwardly, although he had not felt any malice from the 16-armed fiend god projection towards him. Yet, this sudden invitation had given rise to many thoughts in Lin Yuan's mind. Over the past 300 years, Lin Yuan would often trade with other evil gods, and as goods, the seeds of the demon tree were highly sought after by many. It was quite normal for him to have caught the attention of certain evil gods. It doesn't matter if I'm being watched. As long as I stay hidden in Tianqing world, who could possibly do anything to me? Lin Yuan's thoughts shifted to the several secret techniques he had recently acquired. World consciousness. Lin Yuan studied repeatedly. The reason Lin Yuan delved into such secret techniques was to attempt if it was possible for his consciousness to replace that of the Tianqing world. To be more precise, to replace it with the instinctual consciousness of the ancestral demon tree. Under normal circumstances, this idea would undoubtedly be seen as an impossible fantasy. How vast is a world's consciousness? Even for foreign evil gods, it would be far from possible to confront the powerful consciousness of a world directly. Not to mention replacing it. The means by which foreign evil gods dealt with a world's consciousness were akin to borers, burrowing into the origin vast ocean of a world and slowly consuming it. As for directly replacing the consciousness of the world, it just wasn't realistic. However, the circumstances were abnormal now. The consciousness of Tianqing world had fallen into a deep slumber. Furthermore, Lin Yuan possessed the world sword. He was able, to some extent, to inversely influence the world's consciousness. If he could, with against heaven's understanding, create a suitable method for replacement based on the numerous secret techniques related to the world's consciousness, perhaps it wasn't impossible. The reason Lin Yuan wanted to replace the consciousness of Tianqing world was based on a certain conjecture in his mind. The teleportation function of the door to the myriad realms, even at its most basic level of random teleportation, each time required the expenditure of a strand of world-breaking origin force. If he used world coordinates for precise teleportation, then 10 strands of world-breaking origin force would be spent. Where exactly are these strands of world-breaking origin force being consumed? With consciousness descent, it would perfectly integrate into the creatures of this world, without revealing any abnormalities. There was also no occurrence of resistance from the world during this period. But what if this world had absolutely no rejection or resistance towards Lin Yuan's consciousness? Wouldn't the consumption of world-breaking origin force significantly decrease? If that were truly the case, and Lin Yuan replaced Tianqing world's consciousness with the instinctual consciousness of the ancestral demon tree, and then completely opened it to Lin Yuan's consciousness, the consumption of world-breaking origin force during Lin Yuan's subsequent descents into Tianqing world would probably be pitifully small. By then, the entire Tianqing world would become Lin Yuan's own backyard. Whenever he wished to descend, he could. I still have 190 years of residency time left. During this period, most of my efforts should be spent on creating a secret technique to replace the world consciousness. Lin Yuan resolved in his mind. As for the core model comprehension of the space rules, after comprehending over 1,000 core space models, the difficulty in understanding each subsequent space model would increase significantly. With 190 years left, he could comprehend at most 100 or so core models of the space rules. The significance wasn't too great. And to continue advancing the evolution of Martial Tao. The 7th stage Martial Tao chapter had already been completely explored. Since Lin Yuan had not yet stepped into the 8th layer, choosing to develop the 8th layer part would be somewhat premature. Rather than doing so, it would be better to focus the remaining energy on the method of replacing consciousness. After all, such an opportunity might not come even after traversing dozens of times. Wanting to induce a world's consciousness into slumber? The difficulty was much too high, and not every world possessed a world weapon like the world sword. Time passed quietly, and before he knew it, another 180 years had slipped by. Chapter 369. Replace the will of heaven with one's own. Return. The ancestral demon tree's trunk became increasingly thick, ancient, and its profound aura hit everyone in the face. No matter how far away they were, all beings in Tianqing world, as long as they looked up, could see that sacred tree supporting heaven and earth. And now, Lin Yuan's cultivation had reached a critical moment. Your against heaven's understanding enables you to comprehend many world's secret skills, and your own accumulation deepens progressively. Your against heaven's understanding enables you to comprehend many world's secret skills, and your own accumulation deepens progressively. Your against heaven's understanding enables you to comprehend many world's secret skills, and your own accumulation deepens progressively. Creating a secret technique to replace a world secret skill was theoretically impossible, akin to an ant trying to reach the apex of the heavens. Even with against heaven's understanding, one still needed a foundation, nourishment, and the many secret techniques related to world consciousness of this realm were the most precious resources. Over the past few centuries, Lin Yuan had traded with other foreign evil gods to obtain many secret techniques of world consciousness, which directed the deducing of his against heaven's understanding toward a specific path. Your against heaven's understanding enables you to comprehend many world secret skills, to create a method to replace the world consciousness. Many inspirations burst forth in Lin Yuan's mind, forming a complete secret technique. It's finally accomplished. Lin Yuan opened his eyes, a hint of emotion flickering across his face. For 180 years, his mind had been absent of any distractions. He no longer deduced the Marshall Path evolutionary path, nor did he contemplate the core spatial model, all to comprehend a method to replace the world consciousness before his permitted residence expired. In Lin Yuan's plan, even if he failed to comprehend this method now, once he returned to the main world, he would deliberately wait another 6 or 7 years, accumulate 10 strands of world-breaking origin force, and then descend once more to Tianqing world. After all, having complete control over an entire world was too tempting, and the fact that he could descend to Tianqing world at any time for an extremely low price made the offer irresistible to Lin Yuan. You should know, the place Lin Yuan descended was not only Tianqing world, but also included the vast and boundless outer void that contains Tianqing world, encompassing countless foreign evil gods as well as worlds similar to Tianqing world, and even terrifying evil gods that had grown to the 9th stage. It was only after sensing the vastness of the void beyond Tianqing world that Lin Yuan was determined to possess it. This secret technique. Lin Yuan began to focus on the newly created method to replace world consciousness. This secret technique truly had the potential to allow the innate consciousness of the ancestral demon tree to replace that of Tianqing world. However, there were many restrictive conditions. For example, the consciousness of Tianqing world must be devoid of any capability to resist, meaning it must be in hibernation. Additionally, one must possess methods to influence the world consciousness, something that could be achieved with the world sword. The many restrictive conditions seem to specifically target the current state of Tianqing world. From another perspective, the condition of Tianqing world was indeed a rare opportunity, as if all the conditions had aligned and been prepared especially for Lin Yuan. Sadly, if this secret technique were used in the main world, it would probably be crushed into dust by the vast consciousness of the main world instantaneously. Lin Yuan sighed. If one spoke of replacing world consciousness, the main world was naturally the best target. If he could replace the consciousness of the main world, Lin Yuan would become the undisputed #1 powerhouse among the 10,000 races of the cosmic starry sky. Even an invincible supreme being would have to yield to him. Unfortunately, a prerequisite for deploying this secret technique was for the world consciousness to fall into a slumber. And as for how to induce the main world's consciousness to sleep, Lin Yuan could not think of any way to accomplish that. A battle among supreme beings? With the might of a supreme being, one could create permanent spatial rifts spanning millions, billions, and even trillions of miles. But given the vastness of the main world, a mere rift of billions of miles, even a trillion light-year rift, would be negligible to the main world. There are about 10 years of residence time left. Let's start trying to replace the world consciousness. Lin Yuan didn't rest. Immediately after creating the secret technique, he began to implement it. Lin Yuan's consciousness began to sublimate, merging into the origin vast ocean of Tianqing world. This was a talent ability of the ancestral demon tree, but Lin Yuan's integration into it was not for consuming the origin, but was rather in preparation for the upcoming replacement. How wonderful! Is this the most primal region of the world? Lin Yuan scrutinized closely and could sense the endless energy fluctuations. Everything that happened within Tianqing world was reflected here. Having control over the origin source region was akin to having control over the entire Tianqing world. Those foreign evil gods are really too foolish, desiring to consume such a perfect place, instead of trying to understand and control it? Lin Yuan thought about the ancestral demon tree's craving for the origin of Tianqing world, that desire to devour it completely, and he shook his head slightly. This was also the thought of nearly all foreign evil gods. Devour, devour, devour. However, in Lin Yuan's view, this was almost the most foolish approach. It's like melting down a chip that integrates various high-tech achievements to forge iron. Wouldn't that be absurd? In fact, Lin Yuan was overestimating these foreign evil gods. The reason Lin Yuan could sense the mysteries from the origin source region was because of his against heaven's understanding. But foreign evil gods had very little understanding. They were largely driven by instincts, not perceiving the depth and distance like Lin Yuan. Let's begin. Lin Yuan breathed out lightly, and his consciousness began to expand and sublime. In just a few breaths, Lin Yuan's consciousness had disseminated into every corner of the origin source region. Chapter 370. If the world spirit were not asleep but awake, it would have easily crushed Lin Yuan's consciousness at this moment. Without the slightest suspense. The consciousness dispersed into countless subtle parts could not withstand the overwhelming pressure of the vast world spirit. But the world spirit was asleep, and so that scene did not occur. Even so, Lin Yuan remained extremely cautious. Even with the world spirit asleep, dispersing his consciousness like this still held the risk of assimilation. Once assimilated, Lin Yuan would lose himself completely. Although he would eventually replace the world spirit, in essence, he would be no different from the replaced consciousness. Therefore, Lin Yuan was very vigilant. The moment an assimilation trend appeared, he would not hesitate to end this traversal. At that time, the door to the myriad realms would operate on its own, drawing all his consciousness inside and sending it back to the main world. This was Lin Yuan's greatest assurance in daring to attempt to replace the world spirit. He had the door to the myriad realms, which could prevent the most extreme situations from occurring. It was nothing more than an earlier return. For Lin Yuan, the loss was negligible. Time slowly passed. In the blink of an eye, 3 years had passed. In these 3 years, Lin Yuan's consciousness, following the operation of the origin path, at this moment, the Tianqing world subtly began to undergo some changes. These changes were extremely minute, so much so that even the 7th-rank peak Tianqing alliance leader only sensed a fraction of them, and wasn't even sure about it. Above the sky, an enormous face faintly appeared, the face of Lin Yuan. His eyes alone spanned over 1,000,000 miles, overlooking every detail of the Tianqing world. Have I successfully replaced it? Lin Yuan thought to himself as at this moment with just a thought, he could appear anywhere in the Tianqing world. He didn't even need to appear to feel everything happening within the world. Am I the master of the world? Lin Yuan's consciousness returned, settling back into the body of the ancestral demon tree. In the Tianqing world, I am invincible. Lin Yuan's expression was thoughtful. At this moment, he had completely replaced the world spirit of the Tianqing world. The entire Tianqing world was like his own body, which he could control at will. This power is too terrifying. Lin Yuan couldn't help but be astounded. The feeling of controlling an entire world was too overwhelming, with the power of the world at his fingertips. Lin Yuan had a feeling that if he were to face the invasion of the ancestral demon tree at this moment, there would be no pressure at all. The biggest difference between Lin Yuan and the original world spirit was that he had concrete thoughts and ideas and was capable of any action. It was like the natural world's herbivores facing carnivores. Even if they were far superior in strength and size, they wouldn't dare to resist and would just wait to die when chased. The Tianqing world and the foreign evil god were like the herbivores and carnivores, respectively. The world spirit of the Tianqing world, having only basic instincts, faced the invasion of the foreign evil god and could only blindly use all its strength without being able to control the details. And now that Lin Yuan had replaced the original world spirit and controlled everything, any foreign evil god, unless there were dozens or hundreds of them, could be directly ignored. Origin fine gold. With a thought from Lin Yuan, the origin fine gold appeared before him. Nearly 500 years of nurture had given the origin fine gold a definitive shape. A bell-shaped object with many natural patterns engraved on its surface, ancient and vast, bearing the marks of the long passage of time. My requirement for nurturing the origin fine gold was defense, absolute defense, not just on a physical level, but also to include protection for the spirit and soul, Lin Yuan said as he scrutinized the origin fine gold. The preciousness of the origin fine gold lay in its growth potential and malleability. The latter meant it could be shaped toward any type of weapon. Lin Yuan possessed against heaven's understanding. Given time, he could reach unimaginably great heights, so naturally, his shaping of the origin fine gold was focused on survival. However, nurturing the origin fine gold does indeed consume a significant amount of the world's origin source. 500 years of nurturing has reduced the world's origin source by at least 5 to 10%. Lin Yuan thought to himself, don't underestimate 5 to 10%. Given the size of the Tianqing world, even the lesser 5% was enough to bankrupt an 8th-layer evolver from the main world. But it's worth it. Hundreds of years of nurturing have almost shaped the origin fine gold. Once I return this time, it should be ready for use. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. Given the great strength of the origin fine gold, the intensity of its soul defense was on par with the treasures that protect the soul of an 8th rank. What's most valuable is that the origin fine gold could be layered with other weapons and treasures. That is to say, Lin Yuan could guard his soul with both an 8th rank soul defense treasure and the origin fine gold at the same time. Under the ancestral demon tree, the Tianqing Alliance leader, together with the Vice Alliance hierarchs, protectors and elders, all gathered here. Master! The Tianqing Alliance leader spoke respectfully, addressing the figure before him in a low voice. Master! The others did the same. All of you rise. Lin Yuan waved his hand. The form that he now revealed to the crowd was an incarnation, condensed from the power of the world. Having replaced the consciousness of the world and becoming the true master of Tianqing world, Lin Yuan could mobilize the world's power for his own use. Conjuring an incarnation was but a thought away. Next, I will be in seclusion, the duration of which is uncertain. Possibly hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of years, Lin Yuan said. In a few years, Lin Yuan's time to remain would reach its limit, and he would return to the main world. Although Lin Yuan had become the master of Tianqing world and the cost of descending again would be much lower, because of the different flow rates of time between the two worlds, the next time Lin Yuan descended it might be hundreds or thousands of years later. Ah? The master is going into seclusion? Thousands to tens of thousands of years, that's far too long, said the Tianqing Alliance leader and many others under his command, unable to hide their feelings. During my seclusion, the governance of Tianqing world should follow the directives I've left behind based on the measures and principles. Lin Yuan continued. The measures and principles he referred to derived from the civilization of human civilization in the main world. As one of the peak civilizations in the universe with a long history, humans have extensive experience in governing the life on a planet. These measures and principles were those Lin Yuan had learned from the main world. As long as they implemented these principles and maintained them with their formidable martial strength, Tianqing world would enjoy a long period of prosperity. And this, in turn, would be greatly beneficial to martial Tao. The more prosperous and thriving the world became, the greater and higher quality the number of martial Tao cultivators would be. All right, you may all leave. Lin Yuan gestured. The Tianqing Alliance leader and others respectfully withdrew. In the upcoming years, Lin Yuan gave up cultivating altogether. Instead, utilizing the abilities of the world's master, he traveled to every corner of Tianqing world. For the world to function, life is key. Lin Yuan stood atop a mountain, looking down at a village wreathed in cooking smoke below. Without life, no matter how comprehensive the myriad rules contained, something would always be missing. Rules of life. Green glimmers flowed faintly within Lin Yuan's eyes. Like the space rules, life rules were one of the foundational rules, critical to the world's evolution. How life is born. You're against heaven's understanding watches life proliferate, deepening your comprehension of. Hello everyone, this is Shadow. Due to copyright restrictions on YouTube, I can't publish many of the audiobooks you love. That's why I've created a special paid service where you can enjoy over 300 high-quality audiobooks from platforms like Webnovel, Pocket FM, Audible, Wuxia, and more. Each novel comes as a one-time purchase, no subscriptions, no hidden fees. After payment, you'll receive full access via Telegram, along with all future updates for that novel. You'll find a wide selection of your favorite genres and titles, always in premium audio quality. Check the full list of available novels in the description. DM me now to get your favorite stories in audiobook form and start listening today.